2D Mario games are quite simple. All we have to do while playing them is to hold right, to jump and to run. The left button isn't even needed. Or at least I thought so. But recently I decided to replay New Super Mario Bros. U and to beat the whole game without using the left button to spice up the playthrough a bit. How hard can this possibly be? Well, as it turns out, going left is quite an important skill in Mario games. Not only does platforming become a lot harder without the option to go back, but there are tons of levels in the game that just become a straight up nightmare with only half our moveset. So today we're going to take a look at all the problems that await us if we try to beat a Mario game without going back. And we will finally find out what the minimum amount of left press is needed to beat New Super Mario Bros. U is. So you ready? Let's do this! Okay, so first things first, what are the rules? Basically everything is allowed but pressing left. Glitches are fine, the infinite flight suit is okay, even multiplayer is allowed, as long as we don't press left with the second player. All that we want to do is to minimize all left presses in the game. So how do we define a left press? Well, a left press starts by pressing left, ends by releasing the left button and doesn't go on for more than a second. For the sake of this video, we're going to pretend that pressing the left button for longer than a second is physically impossible. The reason for this is that it is theoretically possible to push down the left button before we even start the console and just to never let go of it. But if we beat the game this way, then it's pretty unclear how many left presses we have in total. Is a left press if we press left before we start up the game? Is it only half a left press? Is there such a thing as half pressing a button? And what is the true nature of a left press in general? Burning questions that we definitely won't answer today, because for our scientific cause we never press left for more than a second. Period. Nonetheless, we are going to differentiate between two different types of left presses: meta left presses and gameplay left presses. Gameplay left presses are, well, left presses we're forced to do while platforming through a level. Meta left presses, on the other side, are all the forced left presses that happen during non-platforming gameplay sessions. That's mainly movement on the world map or entering pipes. We're differentiating between them because gameplay left presses can really be optimized by clever routing, by crazy movement, or by abusing game mechanics in interesting ways, while meta left presses are just evil and stupid left presses that are not tied to gameplay and completely out of our control. If we really want to beat the game with the minimum amount of left presses, then we face two major problems. First, we lose the ability to correct jumps and to cancel our momentum, which makes all the platforming challenges in the game a lot more difficult. And second, well, whenever the game wants us to go to the left, we have a problem. There are basically two types of levels in the game. There are hold right and win levels, and there are hold right and run into a wall for eternity levels. One of those level types will cause a lot more headache than the other one today, but luckily we still have a couple of tools at our disposal that help us. So let's open our trick box. The first and most important technique is the wall jump. Whenever Mario does a wall jump, he gets momentum into the opposite direction. It's really easy to keep momentum in the game. If we always jump as soon as we touch the ground, then Mario keeps a lot of the horizontal speed he previously had. So most of the times when we're forced to go to the left, we want to find a wall to wall jump off and then keep our momentum by quick hopping. The next trick in our trick box is slope ground pounding. If Mario ground pounds a sloped surface in the game, he immediately slides down with a great deal of momentum. We can make use of this to build up some left momentum whenever there is no wall close to us. The third and final trick in our trick box are the magical boost mode platforms and the boost star mode. When playing on anything that is not the Wii U gamepad, it becomes possible to summon helpful little helper platforms everywhere into the game. It's really tricky to place those platforms while simultaneously controlling our favorite plumber, but they're incredibly helpful. If we jump off 10 of those platforms in a row, then a boost star appears, which not only gives us an awesome glitter particle effect, but also allows us to defeat all enemies, including bosses, by tapping them. Cool. So next, the route. Routing the game is luckily surprisingly simple because the game basically routes itself. Since we need to minimize the left presses on the world map, there is only one viable route available to us. Let's take a look at this route and let's collect all levels that potentially require a left press in a separate list. The first two levels can easily be beaten by just holding right and jumping, but then the first problem appears. We need one left press after the World 1 tower to proceed on the world map, and several more left presses until the end of World 2. Because of this, we are forced to route through the secret exit in World 1-2. Taking the secret secret exit without pressing left is easy. The problem is the secret level, Blooper's secret lair, since we're likely forced to press left in a level. In the jungle, we obviously have to take the right side of the split path and then find ourselves in the snake block tower. This level is a nightmare without pressing left. Next, we're forced to leave the ghost house via the secret exit, because otherwise we would be forced to do meta left presses, and we are already in the 7th world. This world features the slide lift tower and a spinning spirit ghost house, which we can't route around. Both stages feature probably unavoidable left presses. The secret exit in the ghost house takes us directly to Ludwig's clockwork castle. This level is no problem, but once we beat the stage, we face the first meta left press that is definitely unavoidable. The only way to reach the next level is by pressing left. There is just no way around it. There is no secret exit to skip this area, and there is no way to proceed other than to bite the bullet and to press left for once. This is the first meta left press. Afterwards, there is only the 8th world left, which is luckily literally straightforward. Nonetheless, there are 2 levels here that require a further investigation: the red hot elevator ride and the level in which the final battle takes place. The appropriately named level, the final battle. This leaves us with 6 stages that at first glance require us to press left once, and with 1 meta left press. All the other levels on the route are absolutely possible without ever pressing left. Okay, so let's take a closer look at all the problematic spots, and let's find out how many of those left presses are actually unavoidable. First, the evil left press in Blooper's secret lair. This level takes place underwater. Not only are there tons of bloopers that decided to settle down here, but the level is also the natural habitat of whirl pipes. Pipes that happily push us around while we try to swim towards the flagpole. The huge problem in this level is this part. Here we have to swim upwards past all the whirl pipes that bully us, while dodging dangerous bloopers that chase us. This wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for the fact that the exit pipe is to the left of the entrance pipe. That's sadly the wrong direction. Basically, we have to find a way to get to the left in this area without pressing left. Since wall jumps aren't possible underwater, that's a huge problem. Luckily, the bullying whirl pipes allow us to get momentum without pressing any buttons. It took me a while, but this area can be done without our full moveset, but it requires very precise movement on our part. First, we want to reach this area as Big Mario, but not as Fireflower Mario. The reason for this is that if we swim to the right immediately after leaving the pipe and into the swirl, then it first pushes us into the blooper and transforms us into our smaller plumber self. This gives us just enough left momentum and makes us small enough to swim into the spot in between those 4 rotating pipes. Those pipes then rotate us to the left and afterwards start to push us into the direction we can't go without help. If everything worked out, we end on top of the stage to the pipe's left. Hooray! Turns out this left press is avoidable. Next, the Stone Snake Tower. This level is a straight up nightmare without the option to go left. The gimmick in this level is the stone snake thingy that slowly loops upwards while dangerous, happy electric blobs try to fry us and ouching spiked balls rotate around. The real catastrophe here, however, is that the evil platform likes to change direction in the middle of nowhere. The only way to get to the left in this level is by wall jumping off the side walls. Sadly, the stone snake loves to change direction while no wall is in sight, which straight up drops us into our doom. This is the first problem here, and this problem can actually be solved. The trick is using the magical platforms. We're able to ride the platform to the very left of the stage, and then we ignore the stone snake thingy entirely and place magical blocks below Mario. This way we're able to reach the second part of the level. The second part of the stage requires us to do the same trick, and everything is fine. Until we reach the boss entrance door. This dumb boss door, sadly, is to our left. There is nothing we can do here. The only wall we could use to get left momentum is too far away. The boss fight itself is super simple, but reaching the door without pressing left is sadly impossible. So that's the first dumb gameplay left press that is required to beat the game. The next left press we need to investigate is in Slide Lift Tower. The Slide Lift Tower fun begins as soon as we leave the first pipe, because the very first pipe drops us at the very right side of the tower. And then the madness begins. So the basic plan is the following. We want to always wall jump on the right side, keep our momentum until we're at the very left, climb upwards a bit and repeat this procedure. This is incredibly tedious, but together with a couple of well-placed magical blocks, it allows us to make it almost to the top. But then we face this spot. Here we have to go to the left, while blocks crush us and a fire bro throws fireballs towards our hero in a jumpsuit. In theory, this wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for another problem. There are 2 dumb invisible blocks hidden next to the wall we have to wall jump off. Those blocks sadly block our ability to build up left momentum by wall jumping. The only spot where we are able to build up enough momentum is in between the two invisible blocks, so I have to wall jump off here. At the moment, no block blocks the path forward while avoiding all the dangerous fireballs. This took me tons of attempts, but it is possible. Once we made it past this section, the rest of the tower is luckily free, since the fight against Kamek can easily be cheated by using a boost star. Hooray! Another left press down, 3 left to investigate. The problematic spot in the ghost house is best described as stupid. Here we face our old arch enemy, the staircase. So everything in this level is pretty straightforward up until this spot. So why is this spot, out of all places in the game, so problematic? Well, because for the dumbest of reasons. If we want to leave this ghost house alive, then we have to make it down the staircase. And as it turns out, it is impossible to go down the staircase without pressing left once. A wall jump just gives us so much height that we always land on the higher platform. We simply can't go down those stairs. I tried tons of things. I tried to descend with a mini mushroom. I tried it as Big Mario, as Small Mario. I tried it while wearing the funky Tanuki suit, but none of this helps. We simply can't go down this staircase without pressing left. A wall jump just gives us too much height. I spent more time than I'm willing to admit here trying to make it to the bottom of the stair, but wall jumping off the wall doesn't work and there is no power up in the game that helps us. And then I realized something I wished I had realized sooner. As it turns out, we're able to wall jump off of the magical platforms. This is huge for several reasons. First, it allows us to place a platform so close to Mario that we're actually able to do a wall jump down the dumbest stair I've ever met. Second, it allows us to reach the boss door in the jungle tower leftless. And third, and most importantly, it allows us to get right momentum without ever pressing right. This makes it actually possible to route New Super Mario Bros. U with the least amount of right presses, which is the next thing we're going to try and which probably ends in a huge catastrophe. Hooray! Okay, so now we are at 0 gameplay left presses again. If we somehow find a way to route the last 2 problematic spots without the left button, then the game is officially beatable with a single left press on the world map. First, Red Hot Elevator Ride, another old acquaintance of ours. In this level, Mario is forced to ride this hot and presumably red elevator to the top of another tower. The twist here is that the elevator stops to move as soon as an enemy or a coin is on top of it. This wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for the exceptionally hot liquid called lava that slowly floods the tower and burns us if we take too long. So the first half of the stage is quite easy until it starts to rain bob-ombs. But as soon as the bob-ombs appear, we have a gigantic problem. We just can't get rid of them fast enough since we can't really change our position on the platform. I tried this a lot before giving up, but I always ended up taking a lethal lava buff. Luckily, however, the red and hot elevator isn't our only way to make it to the top of this area, because we can once again make heavy use of our new best friends, the magical blocks. It's a bit tricky to do, but as it turns out, we're able to platform to the very top of this area by just permanently placing blocks below Mario that allow him to slowly climb upwards. Hooray! Another left press down. One final left to investigate. The huge problem in the final level isn't the level itself, but it is the boss fight against the meanest of all turtles. The problem here is Bowser. So far, we basically cheated all boss fights on our route by using a boost star to tap them down. That was my plan when I encountered Bowser for the first time, and it pains me to say this, but holy fuzzy, that was a bad plan, for 2 reasons. First, it takes ages to tap Bowser until he finally starts to take damage, and most of the time my boost star just ran out before I was able to damage him. And second, and far more problematic, we aren't prepared for his shell phase. Once Bowser takes damage, he retreats into his gigantic silly shell and starts to roll around on the ground. His shell is so huge that it is not possible to jump over it, so the only way to dodge it is by running below it, which brings us to the second problem. We can't just damage boost through the shell, because the phase goes on for far too long. If we want to survive this battle, we have to survive his shell attack twice, and this is a gigantic problem. I spent almost as much time grinding the final battle as I spent on the rest of the run, and I almost gave up at several points here. But I didn't. It is actually possible to do the fight without the left button, but we need to throw everything we have at the game in order to pull this off. First, we have to spawn in Luigi, because he's a massive help during the battle. So how does Luigi help us?
Thunder!
Well, basically by doing absolutely nothing. As soon as a second player is added, the game starts to spawn in bubbled yum yum mushrooms every once in a while, which allows us to take an additional hit during the battle. The second way Luigi helps is by convincing Bowser sometimes to attack him instead of us, which buys us precious time during the shell attack. Took me an insane amount of time to route this, but here is the only consistent way to pull the fight off I found. First, we grab the clown car by doing a platform wall jump. Next we ground pound Bowser as far to the left as possible, then we use our invincibility frames to immediately grab the clown car again. Afterwards we fly the clown car into our bubbled brother, which makes Luigi steal the clown car from us while we run away to the right. This makes Bowser focus his attacks onto Luigi, who totally dies here, but he buys us just enough time to survive the first shell attack without getting damaged. Next we quickly jump off of 10 boost platforms and activate the boost star mode. Now we tap Bowser like crazy while also tapping all the dangerous magma balls and the pop bombs that Bowser Jr. throws until Bowser takes damage for the second time. At this point a bubbled mushroom is almost guaranteed to have spawned. So now we take 2 hits during Bowser's shell attack and try to get as far to the left as possible by platform wall jumping. We pop our bubbled safety mushroom, which allows us to take another hit and gives us just enough time to survive the final shell phase. Then all we have to do is to pop another boost star and to tap Bowser into his grave. Hooray! So here we have it. New Super Mario Bros. U can be beaten with a single left press. For anyone who wants to see more left buttons not getting pressed, Mayro made an excellent video about his journey to beat New Super Mario Bros. Wii without pressing left. The link is in the description. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, and maybe you feel especially like not looking back today and want to hit the subscribe button as well. I hope that all of you have a wonderful day and to see you soon. Goodbye!